Hey there hunters, Lord here, back with another Monster Hunter Sunbreak video. In today's video, I wanted to go over supplemental skills that are weapon specific for each of the 14 weapon types. There are obviously certain skills that will just work great no matter what you do. Those aren't the ones I want to talk about today. In this video, I want to focus on each weapon individually and skills that work great for that weapon specifically. With that being said, let's go ahead and cover skills that will work great in 99% of your sets. These should be used outside of just your weapon specifics. Things like attack boost, crit boost, weakness exploit, burst, shock absorber, wirebug whisper, crit eye, agitator, master's touch, and bloodright. Again, these skills work in almost any situation, so using these alongside your weapon specific skills will always make a set better. Before we get into today's video, I did want to let you know about this video's sponsor, which is me. I've been partnered as a creator with Nexus to help bring you guys great discounts on games. If you purchase a game through my store link, which will be down in the description, I do get a part of those sales. So if you're looking to pick up a game this Christmas, you can do that and support the channel. They've got huge Capcom titles on sale. You can pick up Rise for just $15 and World for less than $10. So if you're considering picking any of those games up, do consider going to my Nexus store and picking them up and help support the channel. With that being said, let's get into the video. Now onto the most important skills for individual weapons for Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak, starting with Greatsword. I'd highly recommend Offensive Guard level 3, as this will give you a bonus 15% damage after a well-timed guard, and the new switch skill with Sunbreak Strong Arm Stance does count as a guard. So if you can time this correctly, you'll get a plus 15% damage true charge slash just by using a simple Silkbind move. Focus then gives you a plus 15% charge speed. This allows you to get full charge combos off much quicker, which allows you to do more with less time. Finally, I really love Intrepid Heart, as it allows you to tank a hit with absolutely no knockback after building up the meter. One of the most annoying aspects about playing Greatsword is getting hit right before you're about to unleash your massive charge attack, and Intrepid Heart will help alleviate this from time to time. For Longsword, obviously Quick Sheath level 3 is a massive deal for both Special and Sacred Sheath playstyles, so definitely make sure that you get this into any of your Longsword sets. For Sacred Sheath, I think Frostcraft is a massive damage boost on your big hitting unsheath attack, so be sure to try and slot in some of that if you like to play Sacred Sheath. And since Longsword relies very heavily on its switch skills, Wind Mantle at just level 1 will get your wirebugs back 10% faster, allowing you to get back your Harvest Moon, Soaring Kick, and Serene poses much quicker. For Sword and Shield, again I think Offensive Guard is great here for Metsu Shoryugeki. The bonus 15% damage on your hardest hitting Sword and Shield move is really no joke. Now a skill that I like that I think is kind of slept on is Grinder S for Sword and Shield. Since you can spam your infinite combos, which will eat up a lot of sharpness quickly, then you can use something like Heaven Sent skill or Destroyer Oil Silkbind to immediately regain that sharpness and get a large sharpness multiplier boost from Grinder S. Obviously, another great shout here will then be Heaven Sent at exactly level 2. As I've already discussed, you can use this to get sharpness back by switch skill swapping, which gives you the benefits of Grinder S, but you also have a much lower stamina consumption for things like guarding or dodging. Now the reason we want level 2 and not level 3 is that at level 3 you don't lose sharpness. This obviously completely takes away the synergy that we have with Grinder S, so combining these 3 skills will really add a lot to your sword and shield sets. For dual blades, like we just spoke about, at level 3, once you activate Heaven Sent, you don't lose stamina or sharpness. This gives you infinite uptime on demon mode for dual blades, and you don't need things like Marathon Runner or Constitution for stamina management. This is easily the best skill for dual blades outside of element and attack and whatnot, so if you can fit this in, you definitely should. Now for elemental boost, this kind of goes across the board and I'll talk about it more with each weapon, but if you don't like health drain, you want to run Dragon Conversion and Furious to get extra element, as well as your element attack up at level 5, obviously. But if you don't mind having your health drained, then running Dereliction and or Bloodlust mixed with Strife is a great way to boost your elemental damage. For Lance, Heaven Sent level 3 is a must-have. Now I know we've talked about this 3 weapons in a row, but in my opinion, this is a must-have skill for Lance. Infinite stamina means you can guard infinitely without ever having to worry about your guard breaking due to you running out of stamina. You can then couple this with Embolden at level 3, which gives you bonus 40 defense, more dodging iframes, and it stacks with Guard and Guard Up to decrease guarding impact and damage taken even more. Once you have all of these things, you've got a lance set that can block 99% of all attacks in the game. Now, another great quality of life skill for Lance is a single level to evade extender. A lot of people think that Lance is really slow and clunky, to which I say skill issue, but adding just this one level of evade extender really allows you to clear space from a monster, as well as close the gap between you and a monster much more quickly. Finally, I'd recommend some Slugger, as you can drop in the new Guard Bash Rampage decoration and deal both damage and KO whenever you block an attack with your shield. Slugger allows you to get more KOs and quicker KOs with this Rampage decoration in your weapon. For Gun Lance, most of you will probably know this, but you definitely need to include Artillery level 3 in all your Gun Lance sets. This directly scales your shelling damage up and is one of the only ways to directly increase your shelling damage. The other must-have is Load Shells level 2, as this gives you a +1 to your total shell capacity. That makes this a directly multiplicative source of damage. Think about it this way, if your lance has 3 shells, going to 4 is a 33% shelling damage increase over the course of a full clip. Razor Sharp is going to be great for keeping sharpness up, as shelling attacks can really eat through your sharpness gauge very quickly, and having 50% less sharpness loss can be a really big deal. However, I do like to couple this with a bit of Blade Scale Hone. 2 levels is usually about good, but if you can fit 3, go for it. This allows you to regain sharpness on perfectly timed dodges. These 2 skills combine for nearly infinite maximum sharpness, which is great for any style of gun lance play. Now for Hammer, obviously Slugger is a great skill, as building up more KO faster is never going to be a bad thing during a hunt. One that I think a lot of people sleep on is Charge Master, as this works great with Hammer. Although it doesn't scale as well elementally as other weapons, most of Hammer's playstyle involves getting to your matched charge attacks, so having Charge Master will give you extra element or status on all those attacks. At Charge Master level 3 for Hammer specifically, your charged attacks will deal about 25% more status or elemental damage with this skill. Again, you're going to be using a lot of Silk Binds here, so Wind Mantle can work wonders for impact burst uptime or your impact crater spam. For Hunting Horn, obviously you're going to want to run Horn Maestro for the massive benefit that it offers. However, in Rise you can play a lot of style of Hunting Horn, as both element and raw/status are very viable options. For raw status Hunting Horn, I'd recommend Build Up Boost, Foray, and some kind of Poison Hunting Horn. And for Elemental Hunting Horn, I'd recommend, of course, Element Attack 5, and if you don't like HP Drain, same as with Dual Blades, run Dragon Conversion and Furious, and if you don't mind it, run Bloodlust and Dereliction mixed with Strife. You can also run some wide range if you really want to go all in on a healer support build, but do remember that in Rise and Sunbreak, Hunting Horn is made a lot simpler as far as getting your songs and buffs going, so you can still buff and heal while staying in the thick of combat. For Switch Axe, one of my absolute favorite ways to run Switch Axe is using Infinite Elemental Burst Counter spam. By coupling Wirebug Whisper 3, Frenzied Bloodlust, and Wind Mantle, you can have 4 Wirebugs at once, which are just coming back insanely quickly. This allows you to just spam Elemental Burst Counter Silkbind, keeping your sword mode gauge topped off and giving you huge amounts of file damage. This works great for both Elemental and Raw/status build versions of Switch Axe. Other skills that you have to have, of course, is Rapid Morph level 3. This gives you 30% quicker morphing speed and a plus 20% damage on your morphing attacks. This is absolutely massive and can't be slept on for Switch Axe whatsoever. You can also choose to run something like Power Prolonger to keep your gauges full for longer if you so desire. For Charge Blade, since Impact File is completely dead in Sunbreak and Element is king, you'll obviously want some skills to boost your elemental file damage. Firstly though, same as with Switch Axe, you'll want to have Rapid Morph 3 for the same reasons we wanted it on Switch Axe. That 30% morph speed and 20% morph damage is insane. You'll also need to have Load Shells level 2, as this lets you get full files on just yellow charge. Quicker time to get files means smaller windows in between your huge file attacks. Now a great way to play Elemental Charge Blade without HP drain is using the Primordial Malzeno armor to get Blood Awakening. Once you break a monster apart, you can heal using Blood Right, and once you've healed 150 HP, you gain 40 raw attack and 30 elemental attack. This, coupled with Dragon Conversion, can lead to some ridiculously high damage numbers, allowing you to hit for over 1,000 damage per file without any HP drain whatsoever. This is definitely the safest way to still hit huge numbers on Elemental Charge Blade, but same as the other elemental ones, if you do want to go for HP drain and the highest possible, it's going to be Dereliction, Bloodlust, Strife, Dragon Conversion, and Furious all combined together, which is really expensive. For Insect Glaive, there's really not a lot of skills that boost it directly, the best one being Power Prolonger. At level 3, Power Prolonger increases the amount of time that your Kinsect buffs last by 40%. This means you have to go from having to re-up your extracts every 90 seconds to only needing to get a new one every 2 minutes and 6 seconds. Other than that, you pretty much build like a normal melee weapon. Use those skills that I discussed right at the beginning of the video that work well with everything. You can go for raw, status, element. It all works great. Use the other tips I've talked about to help you build your set of choice. For Bowguns, we can loop these together since it's really the ammo type that matters here. Skills that work for any ammo type, specifically, I like Ammo Up, Ballistics, and Spare Shot. Ammo Up gives you an extra shot per clip, Spare Shot gives you a 25% chance to not consume ammo, and Ballistics allows you to get maximum damage from further away, giving you more room to work with in any hunt. For your typical raw damage ammos, you'll want Spread Up, Pierce Up, or Normal Up depending on the version of the ammo you're using. And for elemental ammo, you'll obviously want Element Attack Up, obviously then your choice of elemental damage. Again, refer to what I talked about with Dual Blades, Charge Blade, and Hunting Horns for elemental boosting skills depending on your feelings on health drain. Finally, Bow, again, stamina heavy, so Heaven Sent is great for the same reason it worked with Dual Blades. Removing stamina drain altogether elevates this weapon to a new level. However, I know that Heaven Sent 3 can get expensive, so if you don't want to opt for that, Constitution and Stamina Surge are your best friends for stamina management with Bow. Be sure to go for your Element Attack level 5, as well as either Spread Up, Pierce Up, or Normal Up, depending on the shot type of your bow of choice. The number one most important skill you don't want to forget is Bow Charge Plus, as this gives you an extra charge level, so be sure to slot that decoration into one of your open level 4 slots on any bow build. Again, like we spoke about, element, it's a big deal. Depending on how you feel about health drain, pick your skills wisely. And just to cover it one more time, for elemental sets, be sure to run Furious and Dragon Conversion together, and you can even still run Blood Awakening to get a lot of bonus element without any health drain. And if you don't mind health drain, then the best damage combo is going to be Dereliction, Strife, Bloodlust, Resentment, and if you still can, get Dragon Conversion and Furious on top of those. This will net you massive elemental damage gains. For your raw/status builds, Build Up Boost, and Foray, and Camellios Blessing 3 with a poison weapon is an especially deadly recipe. So that's about all I've got for this one, guys. If you did enjoy or find it helpful, be sure to leave a like down below. If you're new to the channel, new to Monster Hunter, or liked what you saw, do consider subscribing to the channel for more Monster Hunter content just like this. With all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. I want to wish you all a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and happy hunting.